Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Paul George says Anthony Davis wanted to come to the Pacers. I bring it to the front office. They deaded it. It was AD. Paul George recently inked a 5-year extension with the Clippers, which is a robbery. A display of loyalty that was no doubt a breath of fresh air for Clipper fans. But Paul George does have a history of moving around, starting with his departure from the Pacers in 2017 and then the Thunder just 2 years later. While we know the chance to return to LA played a big role in his leaving OKC, what was it that forced his hand in Indiana? Likely, it was the failure to land Anthony Davis, who the star swingman himself said wanted to join him with the Pacers. Via All the Smoke podcast, we are the top 3 player in the league at this time, power forward that I was trying to get to come to Indy. He wanted to come, George said. I bring it to the front office, they deaded it. It was AD, me and AD talked. AD wanted to come to Indy, close to Chicago. Paul George revealed he and Anthony Davis had talked to bring AD to the Indiana Pacers, but the Pacers front office killed it. He says this combined with his own name being in trade talks is why he wanted to leave Indiana. Davis and George would have been a deadly combo and likely enough to push the Pacers to the point of serious title contentions. Nevertheless, for whatever reason, the Pacers never made it happen, and it was probably something that factored into Paul George's decision to leave. Years later, it's Anthony Davis who has won the title while George is still looking for validation as a top star in the league. So basically, Paul George basically says that the Pacers deaded when he brought to the office Davis. I'm glad they deaded it. I'm glad they said no to this deal because you would have had no planners Paul on the team with Cottonelle Davis. This is just terrible. No. I feel where he's coming from, and if this was pre-Paul George before the knee injury, then I would have said, hey, we could go for it. But dog, let's be honest. What would y'all have done in Indiana? Y'all would have probably got to the second round, maybe third round, and lost. LeBron and them would have beat y'all. Y'all wouldn't have been able to handle the adversity. Y'all wouldn't have been able to handle the pressure. And that would have been the problem. Now Cottonelle probably would have hit a big shot, for no planners Paul, because no planner Paul can't do nothing. So, and plus, he's injured prone. Last year was really the only time he played a full season, but remember, the pandemic hit, so we don't even know if he would have lasted a whole season. Let's be real. And then you were choking left and right. Then you passed the ball one time to CJ Miles. He passed it to you. You passed it back to him. So he was finna go shoot it. You gonna say at the end of the game, well, I was expecting him to throw it back to me. A straight Scotty Simpson answer. No planners Paul and Cottonelle Davis would not have worked. They both don't have any dog in them. Like, Cottonelle Davis has to play with the LeBrownies or play with the Kevin Durant or play with a Kyrie. He has to play with somebody who is basically a leader, a so-called leader. or if he was playing with Kawhi, that would work. Or if he played with Giannis, that would work. Both guys are complementary players. That's all they are. Now, Paul George in the regular season, he's a solid player. He's like James Harden. When it's the regular season, these guys play with a vigor, or play with a confidence that we've never seen. But when the playoffs come and the refs aren't giving you those same calls and the defender's allowed to bang your soft behind, you guys shell up. So again, I'm glad the Pacers shot that down, and I'm glad they traded you because the Pacers have a way better team now. And I just saw some games with them. Nick Jacobs and C Penn and a couple other people might be correct. I think the Pacers gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna be dangerous. So they have a way better team when Oladipo got there and you left. Oladipo, minus the injuries, Oladipo is more alpha than you. He's tougher than you. He has bigger cojones than you. You are a secondary player. And it's being shown now because you came up small in the playoffs, in the bubble. You came up small in OKC twice. Twice. So I don't want to hear this crap about, well, that's the only reason I didn't want to stay. No, 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 no. You left. They wanted to get rid of you because they saw you weren't a superstar. If you were that guy, no planners, Paul, you would have stayed. Because they gave you the pieces. They gave you a team. Everybody has to understand, I would rather take a role player on my team than a superstar. If I got a superstar already, I just need a secondary star or a role player. Because role players know their role. They're not going to stop the ball from moving. They're going to move the ball around, and then they're going to give it to their superstar to try to take over, if not win the game. And that's the truth. Or if I could get a second superstar with my top superstar, hey, I'll go with that too. But Paul George, you are a complimentary player. You're a role player, dude. You're not a superstar. You're a role player. You're a role player. Your mindset dictated. You play your role well, which is not showing up in the fourth quarter or the playoffs. So thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you want to donate to the page, you can cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you for listening. We out. Live boy.